So accounting firms at a crossroads. With AI, you either let it disrupt your work or you let it redefine your impact. And what we want to talk a little bit about, how do we leverage AI so that we can redefine how we show up for our customers. And that's one of the things that Peter had mentioned, is that how do we stay human? These human connections, these kind of connections, that's what people are going to value more as AI help us automate more of the redundant tasks. It's like that human creative connection or that creative thinking where it can only come from your own personal point of view. So how do we elevate that? How do we amplify that? And so why is AI scary? Well, first, it automates the work we've always charged for, right? We've always been so comfortable being able to say, we can do your books, we can do this. And sometimes you might even feel guilty using AI software where like, if I'm charging by the hour, but this really took me 5 minutes to do, like, how do I even justify charging the client? So it becomes this whole, kind of enigma, this dilemma, like, how do I fairly do this? So you got to redefine, if we know that it's going to automate the stuff that we've always traditionally done, where do I add value? Where do I create value in the relationship? And that's kind of the human component. So how can you invest more in the conversations you have with them, learning about their fears, their dreams? I know that sounds a little woo-woo, but at the end of the day, people really do care about that. Having a trusted advisor they can talk about, if something happens to me, who do I leave this will to? Like, who do I transfer these assets to? If I have to sell my business, how do I worry about my legacy? Like, those are the kind of conversations you want to get into. Rather than, let's talk about July's end of month reports, right? So how do we think bigger? How do we think bigger picture? So this shakes the foundation of how a lot of firms are currently billing and prove their value. Second thing, it raises our existential question, right? If AI keeps getting smarter, what's left for us to do? The fear isn't just about job loss, it's about identity loss as trusted professionals. So we're kind of in this journey of like, who am I, right? Like, who am I now? Who am I to our customers? And we can take ownership in defining what that looks like for us. And it's not a fun journey, because if we stay where we are right now, chances are, as things continue to progress and change continues to happen, customer expectations are changing. Would you agree that customer expectations are changing now that AI is more present? Like, have you noticed a change in their attitude on how much faster they want things? Or have you heard things like, can't you automate that? Can you run that through AI? Have you gotten any of that yet? Yes, go ahead.
The biggest shift that I experienced as a firm owner before CEO is that social media, TikTok, Instagram, that has created a big shift.
I love that you mentioned that.
In the way they talk to us, in the respect.
Like, they think they know the answer. So what she mentioned is that the shift of like these social media self-proclaimed tax experts, like this, did you know you can write off your Lamborghini kind of thing? And then they call you and they're like, hey, I'm thinking about getting a Lamborghini. Do you think I can write it off? You're like, where did you get this information from? Oh, I saw it on TikTok. That should be. So you're constantly fighting these kind of like self-claimed experts when you've spent years and years and years studying the truth, right? But it's easy, right? Like, that's that shiny object syndrome that they fall prey to, right? But is that a threat or is that an opportunity? Depends how you look at it. Like, everything depends how you look at it. So there's always a way you can reframe, you could take that opportunity, take that conversation and turn it into an opportunity. What's the good news of them calling you and asking you if they could write off their boat? What's the good news there? They called you. It's an opportunity for a conversation. So be grateful that even if they're misinformed, it's an opportunity for you to re-educate. It's an opportunity for you to challenge that existing perspective. And that little tiny book has a lot of powerful phrases you can say. You could say something like, what do you understand about? And then you explain what you know about what they don't know about, right? What do you understand about IRS regulations that have changed in the last 2 years when it comes to, writing off assets, blank, 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 right? You figure out what you want to say. What do you typically think they'll respond with? Nothing. So what does that do? Gives you the power back, because the person asking the questions controls the conversation. So if they come to you and they say, can I do this? Who's controlling the conversation? They are. But if you respond with a question, you've taken control back. So some of this is all the human conversation. It's in the human conversation. If it also, we talked about changes client expectations and perception, which is the point that you shared a little bit earlier. There's a lot of misinformation. There's a lot of information that is overwhelming clients with indecision or the analysis paralysis. And they come to you sometimes with these dumb questions. But again, how do we treat that as an opportunity to re-educate, empower, help them think differently, and help you position yourself as that trusted and guided expert? If they don't call you, that could be bad news, right? Because that means they're probably thinking about doing something without trusting you first about it. So we also know that like clients are now expecting things sooner, right? Like I need these reports yesterday or else kind of thing, right? Or how many of you ever gotten that last minute email or that text message after hours? And it's, I need these documents ASAP for a bank loan or else I'm gonna go out of business kind of thing. And you're like I call it end of the world energy. You ever had clients that give you that end of the world energy once a month? And it's like, oh my God, dude, like everything's the end of the world, right? And so how do we address that behavior without necessarily lashing out at them? Because sometimes it does make us feel like we want to be like, you know what you're doing and you're making me work on weekends and how dare you? Like it's not about you versus me. It's about us, me and the client versus it. And what is it? The problem, the challenge that we need to address, which is maybe there's a miscommunication problem. Maybe there's an expectations conversation that we need to have. And so that's another aspect of AI that's going to continue to throw obstacles at us. And at the end of the day, you are just one conversation away from making all of this better, right? And just knowing exactly how to prepare for that conversation. So here are a couple things that I've seen and I've heard clients say that they care about when it comes to their accounting professional. First one is, I want someone who can make tax season feel calm, not chaotic, because I know the numbers are right. I want someone who can give me numbers I can actually use, not just file away, so I can grow with clarity. I want someone who can be there when it matters most, not just when it's time, that time of the year, right? Like you don't want to be that accountant that if I were to ask any general small business owner, how often do you speak to your accountant? Oh, they only call me like when it's close to the deadline. Like, let's try to reshape that perception. And could you be a trusted advisor, have quarterly conversations, and stay in touch? I want someone who can make it easy to share sensitive documents without all the back and forth email anxiety, right? So if you're a person that wants to maybe look at this as a conversation with your team, one thing I recommend is take a picture of this, and you can hold a meeting and say, hey, if we know that this is what clients are saying to us, what could we do to improve our processes and our systems and the way we set expectations so that we can better serve our clients? And I'm going to plug TaxDome in here. How can we incorporate some things in TaxDome in the way that we automate the client experience so that what do you notice as a common theme here in every sentence? It's a lot of feeling-focused stuff, right? Clarity, calm, when it matters most, make it easy, right? That's the language that clients want to hear when they speak and engage with a professional like yourselves. So we want to get away from what's called transactional language. What's an example of a transactional language? We do monthly reconciliations for you. We do your data entry. We do your taxes. That's a transaction. What's a transformative language? So that you can sleep at night better. So that you can have time to spend with your family. So you can take more vacations. So that you can scale your business with confidence. So that you can make better financial decisions. See the difference? One is focused on outcomes. The other one's focused on outputs. So we shift from I just do these services to here's how it's going to transform the way your life is going to be more meaningful. or the impact it's going to have on your business or on your clients, on your team members, on your community, or on your family, then your clients are going to be like, yes, I subscribe to that. I will subscribe to you for the rest of my life if that's what you're about. So shifting that language so that we can care about what they care about.